all these years. That's an emotional conversation. That's a delicate conversation. I'd be willing to do the work of trying to unravel that, because right now as a black person, I'm trying to do the work of unraveling my own baggage, my own historical baggage. I think when white people start to do that work, then we'll start to begin the project of trying to understand how all of us belong to this place. But you can't erase history. We can't pretend the violence didn't happen. We can't pretend colonialism didn't happen. We can't pretend people weren't slaves. We can't pretend our people are not poor. It happened. It happened. I'd be willing to hear white people say, you know what, it was Kak trying to pretend that this situation was normal. But I'm not hearing white people do that work.
All right. What would that be?
All right. When you return, South Africa is a fractured mirror. A paradox of schizophrenic selves who don't talk to one another, who coexist together but don't live with each other. And this is the time when you can become the greatest substance of your dreams, unless you live in a shack and don't speak English and don't know what this poem means. Tell me how it's possible for people who walk on gold to not know how to read. South Africa is an old-fashioned mutt who knows how to sing and knows even better how to cuss, who knows how to pray when she's about to run out of luck, who knows how to laugh really hard when the tears have run her into a rut, who knows that race is a farce because when the lights are off, everybody's There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of, I don't hear hope yet. I don't know about you, but I don't hear hope yet.
I hear it. I hear it. Just us being here, having this conversation together, getting to a space that we need to get to as a nation, it will take a very long time. It's not child's work. For me to sit and listen to Sunette, listen to Pierre, listen to Sisonke, and to Lebo, and hear the various voices and digest the message that comes from them, I feel pained. I feel their pain. But at the same time, I feel there's hope because we're talking about it. We put a plaster on a gunshot wound in this country. That's what we did. And that needs to stop. We need to talk to each other and then come to a space of understanding.
Because you're with the EFF.
Yes, I am with the EFF.
Explain that to me.
Well, I explained in a simple fashion that in this country we've got more than 70% of the nation that's living in utter poverty. And if you go into the townships and especially in the squatter camps and you say how our children are living, we're talking about kids. We're not talking about black, white, color. We're talking about kids. So when I look at economic freedom fighters, we are looking at changes this country to bring it into a social system where there will be no class, where the state can take control and we can live in a society where everybody can be brought up to the same level. The thing of the Rainbow Nation that did not work, reconciliation can only work if we both reconcile. You cannot have Nelson Mandela giving forgiveness for a racist group of people that oppressed black people in the apartheid era and say, let us forgive them. They don't come forward and say, yes, we accept your forgiveness, let's reconcile with each other. They don't do that. We still have people in the audience here. We still have people in the audience here, like a gentleman there when she was talking about the black people being more educated and can actually contest for a position. I heard a comment say, yeah, let's kill them. It's those comments that makes people to be killed on farms also. Because when you undermine a black person in this country longer, they are going to kill you.
I'm Myrtle Wetboy and I'm from the South African Domestic Workers Union. It's not about color. It's not about whether I'm a colored. It's whether I'm a human being. And I think we need to do that. Do you know the pain of a domestic worker? Do you know what it is to be isolated in the backyard of employers? To sit there when the employer go out with their beautiful cars and I remain in the backyard. I was there in the apartheid years. But one man came out and he forgave. And that time, when I was in the struggle, I did not say I was a colored. I did not say Mandela is black. We were fighting for freedom. That is what we were doing. I did not classify myself as a colored. And when Comrade Mandela came out, he said there's black and there's white. And since that day I walked that path. I am black. And I am proud of it. If we want to free ourselves, we must free ourselves from this color thing. We're not going to become free because we are bitter.
We are oppressed even in our working place. Our employers don't recognize us. We raise the children. But you find that at the end, you dismiss, you are stealing, my pant is missing, my sugar is missing.
There's a certain amount of people which wants to create a nation of unity. And then there's us, the Boers. We don't take part in this, and we're not going to. And we're not going to go away. And we're the rightful owners of this land. So, so that doesn't mean we doesn't see the sunshine over other people. Okay, if you go back in history, you would actually see that the Boers have negotiated with the tribal chiefs and the kings, and we have see them as equal, and we have give them their peace. Okay. Now,
Carry on, we can hear you.
if we want to share one country, we must first accept the realities.
Help me understand something. If we're going to live in the same country, but you don't want unity, how do we do it?
We never wanted unity.
No, I accept what you're saying.
Okay.
I accept that. That's what you said. What I'm saying is, then how do we live in one country?
Oh, that's very easy, okay? We can live in this country happily if we have proper borders. So if the Boers have their land, and the Tswanas have their land, and the Zulus have their land, we do not want to mix. Leave Joburg for the cosmopolitans and all this type like
Sounds like
before.
apartheid, though.
Yeah, properly, yes.
Okay, all right.
then-
Let me hear what my panelists have to say. Mr. Langa? Kaya?
Why did you give me 30 seconds?
Sit down.
You rush me.
Yes, only.
These two, this is intimidation.
Tired of your black colonization.
Then leave.
Because we are being bullied.
Please leave.
I'm not going because you say I'm going.
I don't care. Please leave. Please leave.
First and foremost, we are human. We are people. We happen to have color. And I think that is the one crucial thing we always forget. At the end of the day, we all bleed, we die, we get hungry, we hurt, we're in pain. And the issue really comes when we start comparing each other's pain, that my pain is worse than yours. And I think what's happened today, we've had some very heated discussions. We've had some people leaving, and I think that's perfect, because it means we are starting to be honest with ourselves as South Africans. So what's happening, when people are not ready to deal with the reality and the truth, they will go away. But at some point, they're going to have to come back. And I wanted to actually ask the young man over there who says that, like, you know, like there needs to be like a separate place for the Boers, the Tswanas and all that. How do you feel if your daughter decided to marry a black man? How do you feel about that?
I cannot see that happen.
No, I'm saying if she wanted to.
No, then it's her choice. Then she go off in life with her choices and she live with it. I don't see you as a lesser person. I only see you as a different person than my culture. And I love my own.
When you're looking at the South African coat of arms, it talks about diverse people unite. It is not a suggestion, it's a command. It's like diverse people unite. And I think we actually forget that this is what we're supposed to do as South Africans, that we're supposed, yes, the acknowledgement of our diversity is there, but we have to unite
All right.
in our diversity.
Sisonke?
what happens is conversations about race tend to attract those who have strong views, right? And so what happens is you are attracting people who feel a deep interest in the issue in a way that may not actually represent the norm. And I think in many ways, South Africans are going about their lives, living them, deeply divided, unequal, making friends, making enemies, but we are in the business of living to a large extent very non-violently. So I will say that the thing that has concerned me the most about the conversation today was the intimidation and the edge of violence. And it speaks to something that we didn't put on the agenda, but I think that we should, which is gender. Because the reality is there was a very masculine intimidation style that was going on here, a kind of bullying. And I think that often the ways in which aggressive racism plays themselves out far more amongst men in particular ways than amongst women. This is not to say that madams are not racist. But one of the things that we also have to recognize, and this is where I insist on holding myself accountable, is that there are black madams who treat their staff horribly. Yeah? So while race is an important category and an important conversation, there are moments when we have to be honest enough to check ourselves and then to transcend a racial conversation for a bigger conversation that is about class. Yeah?
The reality of South Africa is what happened in the studio. The coloured community is also a minority group and their rights are being ignored, and even in the Cape, where they were the first people there. When we did Red October, which people still criticise us for, it was about minority rights, and in the Cape, the coloureds and the Malay people took part. We do not have a democracy, we have a majority rule. Small groups of people are losing their identity, they are losing their cultures. He's asking if he'll be happy if his daughter marries a black guy. You know what? I know very many black men will not be happy if their daughters marry a white dude. Because we should retain our cultures. We should be proud of it. We should keep our languages, our traditions. I mean, I can't imagine some dude coming to my house and bringing me 6 cows for my daughter. But, you know.
No, it'll be 50.
Oh, 50 cows.
When we return, we get the final word from our audience and our panel.
People must be glad they're not killed. Why didn't anybody say anything? And why didn't anybody say that's racist? And say, how can Tutu say that? White people must be glad they're not killed.
Because it's true. Because it's true. It's true.
My question is based to Sune about the Red October. I actually don't understand why white people tend to be rhinos that you guys are in danger. You need to accept what you have done to the country and you need to sit down and allow us to heal. We have accepted what you guys did. Because what is the whole point of this Rainbow Nation? The guy said, this is their land. This is not your land, sir. You need to wake up from wherever you're dreaming and face reality.
Here's a thing for us going forward. We need to substitute intolerance with love. We are not a people. We are a nation of individuals. If we are a nation, we need to stop tolerating, but we really need to love each other.
It's interesting when I look at your country, which has only got about 11 tribes, while Kenya has about 45. And to be able to put a nation together is quite a mammoth job. And you must admit that 300 years is a long time to undo in 20 years. The question is, what are we going to do? How are we going to implement a program that is going to unravel this over a period of time?
As the young people, we are colorblind to begin with. I have white friends, I had colored friends, I have Indian friends, I have friends from all spectrums. And when we get together, the most important thing is enjoying an experience of euphoria, enjoying an authentic experience of love, excitement. You know, we don't care if you're black, if you're white, where you come from. What's important is what's in here. What can you give me that I can use to grow as an individual? At the same time, what can I give back to you? You understand? Now, the thing that is actually happening is quite saddening for a person like me, because it feels like the older generation is trying to resuscitate apartheid, which is a giant that is in a coma. I don't believe that the Rainbow Nation project is dead. I believe it's limping. What's important is that as the nation, we need to come together and say, yes, fine, this is where we messed up. How can we work together moving forward?
There are some people that are not simply willing to partake in the project of creating this kind of country that we want. And as young people, which young people have spoken about here, we have to say, if those people are not willing to work towards building the kind of unity that we want in this country, then we must leave them behind. And we must not be apologetic about doing that. But I also want to make sure that when we leave this room, we don't take people that have been saying that they're speaking as somebody as a boer or whatever, and assume that they are speaking on behalf of all Afrikaans people in this country, because then it's going to take us backwards.
People will continue to be angry. People will continue to be intolerant for as long as there's these disparities economically. Socio-economic transformation first, and then questions of reconciliation, of peace will follow after justice. Thank you.
When we return, the final word from our panel.